Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining us for South of Hollywood. Yes, I'm here with my dear friend from college, Cellina.
Hi,
Nice to meet
Ife.
you, Selena. So, Selena, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and what do you do?
I am originally from the DC area, the DMV. If you're from there, you know, DC, Maryland, Virginia. My family, I have Grenadian roots. My mom and my father are from Grenada in the Caribbean. Um, right now, I'm currently in Chicago. I came for the holidays last year for the pandemic to be with my family, and I didn't leave. So I'm still here a year later, and in about a month or two, I'll be headed over to LA to live there. And before I moved to Chicago, I was in the New York area for about 5 to 6 years.
So, just
And I'm an actress.
truly,
I am an actress.
yes, that's what I'm saying. What you do is
Yeah.
an actress. Yes, I love it. So this is really exciting to have you here because I feel like it's like where in the world it's Cellina Munro. And before that, you were in Spain. That's the last time I saw you. I mean,
Oh my
you were on
gosh.
your way to
Yes. I
Spain the
forgot
last
about
time
that.
I saw you.
Yeah. That was fun. That was many moons ago, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so this is so exciting. So we're just going to jump right into it, girl.
Okay.
So I love to talk with our guests about coming attractions. What's something that you're watching on TV or film or something that you're looking forward to catching up on?
Um, I don't know what's coming out right now because it seems like everything's kind of melding together with streaming.
Hmm.
But one of the shows I loved was Love Life.
Yeah.
Season 2 especially was icing on the cake. That was, I think everybody should watch that. Um, I started watching The Wheel of Time on
Oh, I started
Amazon.
watching that too.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's fun, a little
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's
Um,
graphic. These monsters just come out of nowhere. I'm like, ugh.
yeah, and I like because the not to give too much away, but it's nice to see women in a different position. I'll say that.
Yeah, it does seem. I only watched the first episode, and it does seem like a matriarchal society. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I keep watching it. Yeah.
yeah, I
Um. Oh yes, Insecure, of course.
like.
You know, final season.
Oh
My heart is
yes,
breaking.
my heart is breaking. And see, first of all, and I'm watching every week because I'm such an
Me
Issa
too.
Rae fan that I just have to watch it weekly. I have to right now. And LA, it's a love. First of all, it's a love letter to LA. I
Hmm.
just love everything that she's doing. And what is it like for you? You tell me. I'm sorry. I just love it so much.
Yeah, I love it too because you know a lot of shows are based in New York, so I have a pretty good handle on what New York was like even before I moved there, and
Mhm.
to see LA to where it's not just the studios or like behind the scene, it's like people walking down the street. You know, like it's really cool, especially since I'm going to be moving there. Um, so yeah, I just love how it seems very authentic to the place without being LA flashy, overdone flashy.
Yeah.
Because you know, I do like the reality shows, so you know,
Hello.
you know how they can get a little shiny sometimes. So I like this is
Mhm.
it seems authentic. Um, yeah, and oh yeah, what other show I really liked? Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, I just started watching that too. It's good. It's
It's good.
deep.
Yeah, it's a different pacing. I don't know if it's gonna be for everybody, but I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it.
I love that director producer. I can't ever say his name correctly, but the Australian, he's like indigenous and Jewish and European, and he's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
he comes from such a perspective, and he for him to want to look at American indigenous life is just like so deep, and I just love it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's definitely it feels very honest to what people who have not had a chance to speak, a voice to speak, like it's like finally they get to say a little something and it's like, oh, I'm listening, please tell me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, the critique is real. It's definitely, oh yeah, I really, you can really tell that they also participated in production and
Yeah.
writing, you know,
The
at every
writing.
level. And I believe that's what he did. I think he did incorporate a
Hmm.
lot of different people who are First Nation to actually work on it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good. Oh, those are good ones. Yeah. So if you haven't watched those, yes.
Definitely get on it. Definitely trying to venture out into like different countries as well. You know, like Squid Game. I know everybody's watched Squid Game, but you know that's branched out to like other Korean shows I've been watching.
Yeah.
Watching some French comedies. You know, like just why not? You know,
Yes,
don't learn something.
definitely. Yeah, it's holiday season in my house, so it's definitely gonna be Christmas movies over here.
Christmas.
Yeah, because my mom is all about Lifetime and whatever they, you know, whatever Hallmark channel, whatever they're doing. But I know Netflix, I actually got into Christmas movies last year because Netflix had so actually diverse ones and they had different ones, and I
Hmm.
kind of felt like they were easy to access. You know, they're right there on Netflix. So I think they're doubling up on the idea this year. She was watching something the first night before Christmas last
I
night, which
haven't
is
seen that
like
one.
a combination of like medieval times and fantasy and Christmas movie. I'm like, you know what,
Ooh.
Netflix? They just
Ooh.
gonna give the girls everything they want. What you want, girl? We got the movie for you. Okay.
I
Like,
did watch one last year, Jingle Jangle. That was cute.
oh yes,
That was
Jingle
cute.
Jangle. That was brilliant. That was
Hmm.
so touching. We're gonna watch it again too. And the Debbie Allen hot chocolate. She does the
Oh, I didn't watch
Nutcracker,
that
but
one yet.
with black people. She's been doing it for 20 years in LA.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, the Debbie, anybody in LA, which you gonna be here, the Debbie Allen Dance Academy is right in Leimert Park. So it's, you know, a staple in the black community. And they used to have it at the Barbara Johnson Theater too. They would actually have like Christmas holiday shows and stuff like that at the World Theater.
That's what's up.
But I don't think they're open anymore. I don't know. I did show movies at the Barbara Johnson space a couple years ago, but that's the last time I was there. So Debbie Allen, you know, last year they didn't have the show, but they
Yeah.
had made the movie the year before. So last year they just showed the movie. So I don't know if they're gonna do it this year. And there's like a Washington too. I think Hula Washington, something like that. I've been to their Christmas shows, but basically all the black people show out for Christmas,
Hmm.
and it's all Leimert Park, all South Central. There's just tons of. There used to be tons of theater shows, so you know it's definitely something to watch to get another understanding of local LA regular life. You know, black life, South Central life, definitely.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yes, definitely. Now, let's get into what I'm going to call from here on out the tea
The
time.
tea.
Okay.
Tea time.
Okay. This is our hot topic segment, you guys, but you know, we're looking for sponsors. So, tea time it is. Okay. So, you know, this is where I kind of give my little critique of what's been in the media, you know, what's kind of been said going around. There's been a lot of critique of Kamala. Is that right? Kamala.
Yes, sir. Right.
Kamala. And I know people get on me because I'm a raging liberal. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to point out that it continues to be, you know, a blatant laugh at our face at how we're going to treat women of color, black women. And when I say black, as I've said for many years, black refers to all the people in the spectrum of the diaspora to me. So to me, black people is all of the people who have come from post-colonial societies, it's all the people who came from an indigenous marginalized society, and it's all the people who came from the African continent that have been dispersed around the world. Okay. So she is by all definitions a black woman. All right. And I understand that I don't agree with all her politics. She had a career, she's made her own choices. We can all critique that. But I continue to see her name, they just have so much vitriol for this black woman, and I just think it's a further reflection of how black women are treated in society. And you know, so that's been something that I've been seeing. I don't know if you have any thoughts or opinions on that one as a Caribbean woman as well, you know.
Yes. I tend to agree with you on like why. Well, I know why,
Mm,
but the all the interest. in this vice president. Yes, she's the first female vice president, first woman of color vice president, but it just seems there wasn't this much interest of anyone else. They're like, she's, granted, I don't agree or didn't agree with all her politics in the past. I may not agree with all of them in the future. I don't know. But it seems a bit, I don't know, hostile is the word, accusatory. And it's like, y'all weren't doing this for anybody else. Like, right. It's very obvious why this is happening to her, to me. And it's something that we see again and again. Black women, I feel like, in the media are either ignored unless they can provide a storyline to the news. And usually that storyline is more times than not positive. Then it's like, oh, look what it's just right. A bit. I try not to follow it too much because I don't want to feed into it.
Right.
Because I feel like that's the quickest way to let them go on to another news story. But it gets exhausting after a while. It gets exhausting, but I hope she keeps doing the right things for people the right way. If there is anything going, figure it out, Kamala, and let's make moves doing the right thing.
And you know what? That's one thing I feel like. Hopefully, that's where I'm like, I hope she also has the strength of character of a Black woman too. Because you're gonna have a tough shell, and you're gonna have to still be able to say, here's the right thing to do, and I'm gonna do that because that's what we do. In those type of situations, we still got to do our best. Yeah. So that was just my 2 cents on the Kamala Harris situation, because I'm with you. I don't want to feed into it, but I do want to acknowledge that it's happening, because everything I'm saying is very much a critique of her. And while I agree there's a critique of her and other politicians, we're still on year 1. We still got a ways to go. And I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, because I'm also a Black woman, and I know what it's like to be put in between a rock and a hard place.
We make it work, though. We make it work.
We make it work. So, we were just talking about this show we both seen. So Harlem on Amazon. Have you seen that?
I have. Well, I've seen the first 4 episodes.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I ended up watching it over a couple of days too. I didn't just binge on it because it was a lot to take in. Yeah. Visually it's beautiful. It's really stunning. And girl, right away I said, anthropologist. Well, my God, look who has joined the tribe. Yeah. I was like, felt so validated, like, oh, we're back in style. Oh, okay. But then I seen that she was just in this lecture hall with these random ass lectures, and I was like, okay, well, this is TV.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Harlem? What were some of your thoughts?
I agree with you. I thought it was very visually appealing, very beautiful. I'm so glad Megan Good is the lead. I'm rooting for her, always rooting for her. Wanted to continue so she can still be the lead. And it was nice to see new faces as well. I did like it. I think the pilot had a lot in it. So I think the episodes after it really helped explain and develop the storyline and the pacing of the show. I will say I like the idea of having a character, the 4 characters, we see it, we watch it, Living Single, Insecure, The Best Man. It's always 4 characters, Sex and the City. I would like to see a different way the story is told. Granted, it's a good show, but is there another way to tell the story? I think that's why I like Love Life so much, because we got to see this one character have those different layers and be complex and varied. And I don't think that is shown as well when you have so many different characters who are the leads. Granted, it's great, to see it, but to really get down to the complexities of a person, it's really beautiful to see. And I wish more stories could be shown that way of Black people.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I loved Love Life for that complexity they gave us. And, and perhaps it was a little bit, to me, it was also so insightful to men and the male perspective on the search for love and romance. That honestly in film is kind of a rare thing. It is very much, romance is sold to us as only for women. And that's unfair to both of us, to all of us, right? But with Harlem, for me, first of all, the unrequited love or the longing for love or the distant heartbreak love, it gives me very Sex and the City vibes, so I was kind of like, oh God, are we going to go down this path, or are we just going to chase this love? Oh God. And so it did give me a little bit more than that, so where Sex and the City, I guess kind of had a fairy tale prescription to just kind of sit with, the story from a Black perspective kind of can add a little bit more nuance to it, maybe perhaps. For me, what was problematic, and I don't know if they get to this by the 4th episode, I don't know when I realized it, but I was really not comfortable with the idea of the darkest friend being poor and broke and on the couch, and then the lightest friend being the rich, wealthy one who was just super bougie, because I feel like that's also a trope that really kind of gets bounced back at us all the time. Now, there might be some truth to that in the world of colorism. We understand that. But that's not true all the time. It's not like people are bougie because they're light-skinned. I mean, there are light-skinned bougie people, but there's also down-to-earth light-skinned people and broke light-skinned people. So, it's not, why are we still doing that trope, I think, again, in the story, they give a little bit more to that backstory as you go through it. But, I was like, oh, is there another way?
I didn't, I don't think I watched enough of it to... They were giving me a lot of information in all the episodes in the beginning. I think one of the critiques I had was the friend who was living on the couch.
Right.
I think she's beautiful. Can we see her face? Just pull her hair back so I can see her face.
Yes.
Like, I understand the hair is part of her character, but just pull it back. I just want, cut
the wig just a little bit. Yeah. No, she's gorgeous. And I'm so happy that actress is in there. And I literally saw her and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like me. Like, she's like brown. She's got a gap. She's got the hips. She's gorgeous. I was like, she must be Nigerian. Cute. Yeah. So
I will keep watching it because I am curious to see how the story will play out. Just curious.
And then the lesbian friend too. I mean, again, she's a little bit more than meets the eye, but it's just kind of like,
I haven't watched enough of her storyline for it to pop up yet. I'm glad she's in there, but I don't know what to say about it yet.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Not even just the storyline, just them as just that on the surface where they put them on the surface. I'm like, okay, guys, so I think watching it more, it got me to watch it. Basically, I wanted to see more, because I was like, what is happening with these characters? Like,
yeah.
But so I mean, some hot topics in LA for sure. We just had this Kanye West and Drake concert, which is a big deal because apparently, they had to reunite after years of feuding and get back together. And this is the first time they're actually having a show. And it's kind of interesting because Drake is actually in the midst of being sued, for that Astroworld concert where, like 10 people died or something like that. Yeah.
See, I didn't know about the concert until you told me not too long ago. I was like, oh, there's a concert? So I need to go watch it. But it's just interesting that now we can stream everything online. It's like, I wonder what's going to happen when we can move about more freely. Are we going to be going to concerts like that? Like, how are those two worlds going to merge? If they are, I'm definitely going to watch it after I get off this podcast.
Yes. No, you definitely have to watch it. It's on Amazon. And here's the thing. So I'm like up late night on the phone or whatever, right? And on Twitter, I'm seeing people like, oh, Kanye West and Drake, and it was the Free Larry Hoover fundraiser or something like that, which I don't really know that deep history either. I mean, I've heard the name before, but I don't really know a lot about it. Don't at me, please. And because I don't care. I don't care. And, so everybody online when Twitter was talking about it, and I was like, okay, well, let me go check my Amazon. Because I don't even think they advertised it. I think it was like super low key. Like, so yeah, just to see like this free concert. And I don't know if it was free for people here in LA, like if they wanted to go to the concert. I imagine they had to buy tickets. But it was free to stream online. I mean, I guess it's not free. Also, you have to have a membership to Amazon. Yeah. But it was streaming online. And I was just like, my mind was blown. I was like, let me drink some more beer and smoke some more because I can watch this whole concert from my couch and lay down and take a nap and wake up and watch some more. Like,
I mean, that's why I love the Fenty fashion shows.
Oh,
please tell me you've seen them.
You know what? I have never watched one of those. I have to watch it. Yes,
it is so good. I know because everyone thinks fashion show, or they just walk in back and forth on the catwalk. It is not like that at all. It's more of, I don't want to say a concert, but more of like a performance. It's a performance. Yeah. And it's not at all what a fashion show is, because that's what I thought it was. And then I've been hooked every time. Like, I have my phone ready with the alert to watch.
Oh, I've always wanted to watch them. I never have anybody wants to watch it with me. I need to watch it. Oh my gosh.
Girl, it's good. It's good.
Yes, that's what's up. I think that's something that's happened just last week. Or the week before last, the designer from Louis Vuitton actually passing away, but they released his collection soon after, so you can watch that online too, and that was actually pretty interesting. Definitely. Virgil, mm-hmm. Man, so, and that was big news in LA. That's like, people were like devastated. It was like all over the art world for sure.
So he was the first Black creative director for the men's line, right?
And that is like financially one of the largest Fortune 500s in America. Like, it's like a big deal. And more importantly, I think, like I said, as an artist, he was doing a lot of stuff that he wasn't even like, he was never really flashy. He was really just like designing things and having installation, like you said, fashion show art exhibits, and making that the thing that people are paying for, this experience at Louis Vuitton, where, taking the shirt off the model is nothing because, you're paying to like be like, I was like, how do people get tickets? Oh my God. I know. Right. Like, this is more exclusive than the Met. Like, what is this? Like, it's definitely cool. But one thing I will say in my last few minutes for speaking of fashion was Gucci, the House of Gucci. I went to see that.
How was it? I haven't seen it yet, but I heard all about Lady Gaga's process and everything for her accent and how she got into character. So I'm curious. Tell me.
Now, Lady Gaga, right, exactly. Now, Lady Gaga, let me first of all give her props because she is a serious actress. This is no shade. Like, she's a real good actress. And she's the one I believed maybe the most. You know what I'm saying? I felt like she kept it. She had that. I mean, she was like a real gangster, but between the wigs and the accents, baby,
the wigs. Not the wigs.
Because Adam had these wigs, baby, and they was tired, baby. And I was like, is this done? Like,
what? I'm sorry I have to interject. That is my main thing. Whenever I see a bad wig on TV, I'm like, if y'all don't start hiring these Black hairstylists, we can take a $20 wig off of Amazon and make that joint look.
Hello.
What is the problem?
Hello, YouTube is teaching y'all how to lay these edges. Why y'all ain't got nobody on set? What?
Exactly.
Please, I kept seeing the back of his head. I was like, if y'all don't get that wig back down, I'm tired. And then as an editor, I was offended because there was literally no sort of space and time designation, sir. Where are we? What year is it? What country are we in?
No.
Where are we? I don't know. Where are we? Hello? Can anyone hear me out in space? Like,
so it went from back in time all the way to present.
Right. Right. And they told us one time they was go back in time, 1970 something.
Uh-huh.
And then never told us when nothing happened until the end. And I'm like, excuse me? Was it 1 year or 5? I don't understand. What did I just watch? Like,
that's so weird.
And you wouldn't think about it, except I'm an editor. You know what I'm saying? So maybe most people can sit and just go with the flow and be like, oh, time. Mm-hmm. No, I was like having anxiety. I was like looking at my clock, like, where are we? Oh, am I in New York? Am I in Italy? Like, who? What? When did this happen? When did they sign that? What? Who?
Yeah, you do tend to watch film differently once you get in industry. Yeah, it's interesting. Yes. Your eye changes. You're like, I would have done that differently.
Yes. And it was star-studded. I mean, these are great actors, so I'm not going to take away from whatever they came to the camera with. Okay, whatever they felt they need to come with, you just have to believe that's what they came away with. But I just felt like it was a little bit. The accents were kind of stereotypical. The situations were, the conversations sometimes were a little bit like, okay, I'm assuming this is fictionalized. You had to make this conversation up, so. Maybe it went like that. So I don't know. I just felt like I was kind of floating in space with it. And I did not like that feeling. I was like, at the end, right, you get the closure. So you know what happened. But I definitely was like, I was fascinated by the story itself. It was pretty interesting. And it was really and this is also interesting too, because they got Lady Gaga in a lot of the commercials. So I kind of assumed it was about this marriage they had. But I think by the end, it was really more about the business and like what happened to the Gucci business. And, with, I guess maybe that was the centerpiece, that's what the thing that turned the tide. But yeah, it was about the business. And so part of me was like, oh, now I wish there was like a version or some like mini TV series about how Gucci became the rich and famous label. Like
that's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that probably is what's gonna happen.
It was interesting. It was like, wow, all this stuff happened behind the scenes on this like fashion line. Like it was interesting.
I need to watch it then. I need to watch it.
Yeah, we're let's see how they do for the awards situations, because I will be surprised. I haven't heard much about it since it came out. Have you?
No.
And that's a sign. Anything. In Hollywood, that's a sign. That's a sign. So that concludes tea time.
Tea time.
So, I guess I should show that. So now we're going to get into our main topic. So Cellina, you're our special guest. You're on your way out to LA. Tell us a little bit about your journey and what's leading up to this moment.
Actually, we have never talked about my journey before, so this is going to be interesting. Like, do you want the abbreviated version?
We got 30 minutes, baby. It's all you.
Girl. All right. So it's really, I know a lot of people when they're actors, or they're like, I wanted to do this since I was 5 years old. And maybe I did, but I forgot. Or I was like, I need to get a real job. I don't know what it was. But so we, you and I, we met in school, Syracuse University, all that. We got our degrees. My degree was not in acting. It was in advertising. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be an advertiser. And I really like advertising. This should have been a tip-off point, was because I thought it was a movie in 30 seconds.
You did always
That's why I liked it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So get out of college, I got a job, graphic designer. So I'm working in corporate America, in a cubicle. That's what I mean. Working in a cube for how many years? And then, as you can see, if you can't see, if you listen to it, I have a lot of hair. I have enough hair for 3 people. So I would always get stopped.
When it's straight, it's like down her back. It's like amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so I would always get stopped on the street, like, oh, what hair products do you use? This was when the natural um tide was coming in,
Mhm.
and I happened to be in Ontario, Canada for a cousin's wedding, and I got stopped 3 times on the street. And they're like, what products do you use? Where do you get them? Blah, blah, blah. And I was with my mom, and she was like, have you ever thought about being a hair model? And I was like, that is genius because I can get hair products for free, right? Because you know how expensive they are, right?
Because I put a lot of hair products in. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in Canada, so I'm like, okay. I went back to the hotel and I tried to find a talent agency in the U.S. So, but of course, the two countries. It was back in the day. It wasn't syncing to all the U.S. sites right away. So I found one, put in my information. When I got back to the States, the agent called me and I had made a mistake on the form. So I told her I made a mistake on the form, and as I'm telling her, she's cracking up, laughing. She had to put me on hold, go get a tissue, wipe her eyes, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put you down for acting." And I'm like, "Can I still get free hair care products? Like that's all I'm worried about right now." So I get to the
You so
talent.
serious. You be so serious.
No, that's all I was worried about. So I I went to the talent agency audition, got chosen to be in a showcase, and then I got a scholarship to go to the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts for their program. And in between that time, right before I went to the school, this is so random. We had a family emergency where we had to fly to another country. And, it was like, there's a lot of things going on. So long story short, I was up for about maybe like 36 plus hours coming back. And then a friend was like, oh, I really want you to see the psychic talking to me. And I'm like, I do not care about psychics. I don't care. The skeptical, whatever. But I was so tired. I was like, I will do anything to make you like let me go to sleep right now. So I went to a psychic and she was like, yeah, are you doing this acting thing? And I was like, I'm trying to be a hair model to get free hair care products. And she's like, yeah, you need to keep doing it. And I'm like, no, okay, yeah. She's like, no, you need to keep doing it. And I was like, all right, like whatever. So when I got to the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts, day one, first class, someone got up and did some reliving traumatic experience. And I was like, oh, is this how it is all the time? Like every day? Like this is the first half hour. Like this is the most excitement I've gotten ever. Like usually it's somebody walking to the printer past my cubicle. Like this is great. And that's when I realized this is what I need to do for the rest of my life.
I guess.
So that's pretty much it. So since then, yeah, I still worked in corporate America for maybe 7 years, and after work or on the weekends, I would be in short films, classes, web series, and then this year in 2021, I quit my corporate job, and I've been a full-time actress since then.
Oh my God. So what's been going on in Chicago? What's it been like there?
Well, it's the pandemic still, so I haven't been on set anywhere in Chicago yet. It was pretty shut down last year. But I have been writing a Marvel-esque film. I finished a children's book, and I am helping to produce a Nordic noir film that will be coming out next year. We'll be filming in Norway called The Good Samaritan. And if you want to contribute, donate at The Good Samaritan 2022. Follow that and follow me. And yeah, just been auditioning like crazy because now we all need content. Everyone's watching content. We all need it. So yeah, just been working the craft.
Oh no, we're not gonna gloss past all that, okay? But yes, that's what's up. I think it's so important to be grounded in the practice of an art, because yes, sometimes you make money, sometimes you be on stage, but if you are really a master of your art, you're gonna learn how to work all those crafts. So that's exciting. Tell me a little bit about producing and writing. What has that experience been like?
Yeah, I actually got into writing haphazardly. I was a friend from my acting class called me during the pandemic and was like, hey, I want to start a writing circle. And I was like, just let you know, I'm not a writer. Like, I don't write anything. But she was like, that's fine. I want some actors so that when we read through the scripts, we have someone who's experienced. I was like, great. after 6 months of being in the writer's circle, I decided to write something. And what a blessing, because it helps, like you said, open up different avenues of creativity I didn't even know I liked or wanted to pursue. That's been really interesting. It's been difficult for me, very difficult, especially because I don't think like I am a writer. So I've had to push myself, but it's been good because now I feel like if I don't see something or a role that I would like to play on TV, or if there is one that I want to play on TV or the movies, I write it myself. And I produced another short film with a friend, and so I know the behind the scenes and like how to make a film and how to get it done. So like it's honestly it's a lot of work, but it's not as hard as you think it is. Now that everyone has an iPhone or an iPad, like you can get it done. And I just encourage anybody out there, if you have an idea and you're coming up against roadblocks, and make it yourself. Make it yourself. But if still learn the craft. I still think that's very, very important. Still learn the craft. So that way you have a foundation and nobody can say nothing about you. Like your stuff.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, kind of going back to taking classes. So that was in New York City. You were taking acting classes?
New York City, yeah. New York City.
What was something, a most valuable lesson? How long was the class? Like, how long did it last? And
that's a really interesting question, because I was in the academia mindset of like, you take a class and then you're done. Like you have that class, you have a certificate, you're done. Acting is actually not like that. You're always in a class. If you're not in a class, that's a problem. So you're never ever done. So the way I got into this class, my acting coach, I was in a play in New Jersey, and one of my friends, they was like, "Oh, you got to meet my acting coach. You got to meet." I'm like, "I'm not paying for nothing. Like I just paid for, Syracuse University, NYCDA. Like I'm not paying for nothing." But I was able to audit his class, and lo and behold, he was actually a teacher at the Yale Dramatic School of Arts. And on his free time, when he wasn't teaching students there, he would teach anyone else who wanted to act in New York City. So I got blessed to be in his class. So I've been in his class, the Berg Studios. He has a studio in LA. I've been in his class for years now. And I think the most important, there are so many things, but one of the important things, you're never done. Yeah, you're never ever done. Ever done. They always say, I know everyone says this who's an actor, when Meryl Streep isn't on set, she's with her acting coach, and it's true. It's true. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't get a certificate, you don't take one class, there's no tricks. If there's someone who's teaching you a trick, like we're going to see that trick. Like you might be able to fool us out first time, maybe second time, but it's going to get pretty played out, So you got to learn the craft. You're always learning it. So I'm still in classes. That's my point of saying that.
Awesome. So tell us about this move to LA. What has it been like preparing for that? And, what are you looking forward to? I can't even imagine what it's like,
Girl, I don't know. I went for the first time in June just to see the lay of the land. I've never been.
The first time you ever been to LA was in the past June.
The past June, yep. The pandemic. And it was cool. It's definitely a different vibe than anywhere else I've lived. Everyone's really chill, super chill. I was kind of like, when do y'all get work done? Like, let's go. I'm used to that New York hustle. But yeah, it was cool. We did go to Leimert Park. Well, you mentioned earlier, that was cool. That's a vibe. And I really liked Inglewood. Inglewood is cool. We went to Hollywood, downtown Hollywood. I'm just looking forward to absorbing it all. We went to, like we mentioned, the Insecure show. We did stop off in front of the dunes. We had to take a picture of the apartment in front of the dunes. That was fun.
Absolutely. Everyone that comes visit me, they're like, "Can we drive by the dunes?" I'm like, if you Google that shit, it's just on one of a street. I drive by it. I used to drive by it all the time, but it's like I don't even know. It's just a street. It's like
It's a street, and then it's so funny because my friends was like, "Can we just take a picture in front of it?" I was like, "Yeah, they're not shooting." I'm like, "No, it's not a set. It's like an actual apartment. It's just an apartment building,
an exterior shot. That's what it is."
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yes, let's do it." But it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I'm just ready. I know I cannot live by the beach. I know that I would not get any work done. Nothing. But yeah, it was so much fun. It was cool. The preparing for it, everything is in storage, so that's gonna be a trek to travel it all the way to the West Coast. But yeah,
But I
everything's
mean,
pretty
yeah,
much ready to go.
yeah. So no, tell us for real though. How do you prepare for something? I mean, a lot of people want to do that. A lot of people want to pack up and move, but they feel like they can't, and they can't do something like that, or they can't, take that leap of faith, and then they logistically or financially can't do it. So I mean, literally, give us some insight into how you make something like that happen, because it's not. I don't think it's something to be glossed over. Actually, physically preparing yourself and making that first
Emotionally.
step, yeah, to actually get to a place where you're like, I'm going to go out there. So what is that? What has it been like? What's the toll of that? What does it really take to make something like this happen?
Um, I think it is like I had planned to move to LA before the pandemic, before the word pandemic was used frequently in our vocabulary. Um, and of course that happened. Um, and it pushed everything back. But I think with us being locked down, we start to realize that what's important to us. And for me, I really had to I hate using these terms, but I really had to get still. Like I had to start meditating and be like, okay, when am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? And the question kept being like, when, to finally like, why not? Why not now? What is holding me back now? And I really didn't have a good answer. Like, yeah, it could be finances. Of course, it's finances because you need money. You have to live, but you're always going to need money, right? Um, what are the opportunities here? Okay, are the opportunities more over there? Okay, we got that. So it's just like at a certain point, you just have to trust your intuition. And even if you don't know, like 2021 has taught me to make very, very, very loose plans. Very loose plans. So, I mean, try it. If it doesn't work out, you can try something else at this point. Like, I've done everything I was supposed to do, went to school, got a degree, like not saying you have to do all these things, but I did the things that they said, this is what you're supposed to do in order to have a secure life as an adult. I did all those things and I wasn't feeling fulfilled. So why not try something else? Because there is no one right way to feel fulfilled. I feel like, yeah, I could have a lot of financial stability, but it is possible to have a lot of financial stability doing what you want to do. Like, I think we have learned that now. Like, now you can have both. So why not?
Yeah, it's so funny because both you and I are both also practicing Buddhists.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of talking about that today in our group meeting. And it's so interesting because it's like, what is this, confession time? You were talking about not going to the meeting. I have not chanted in like a year. I don't know why. I mean, I chant, but not like sit down in my Gohanza. But when we have the group meetings, that's when I have my practice. So, but I chanted today.
Oh,
And
good.
yes, I chanted today, and I definitely chanted to be able to reach out to more people. But the meeting today was about being victorious. And they asked, what does it mean to you to have absolute victory? Because that's like one of the 5 pillars of victory or whatever. And for me, it's overcoming fear.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about in my life, being able to move around the world in my life, or taking those leaps of faith and changing careers, those have been a real testament to overcoming fear. Like you said, because at the root of it, it's about what happens, if it goes wrong, or what happens if I can't do this, or what happens if I don't like it, or what happens if it doesn't work out. And those are the things that will even stop us from trying. And I really felt like after this year of sitting and meditating, being diligent at my group meetings, at least, that I really heard people say, just don't give up, just push through that. And that really encouraged me and supported me too. And, allowed me to change my circumstances, for my passion, right?
Yeah,
To
for
where I
your
was really,
passion.
yeah, where I was really like, what's the thing that I'm going to do that's going to bring life to me, that allows me to go out and continue to, to ultimately give more of that good energy out to everyone else. And, it's, being able to make documentary films,
Yeah. Yeah, and it might be easy. I hope it's easy for everyone.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't easy for me. Because before I lived in the DC area and I moved to New York, that was one of the hardest times in my life, trying to transition to be an actress. If I had known it was going to be that hard, I would not have done it. Absolutely not. But like, you get through with that first year, like, okay, I made it this far. Let me try. And you keep going, you keep going. And then when you look back, how many years later, you're like, I'm that bitch. Like, I made it. Like, I made this work, and it's so worth it. And it's hard. It is hard. It is scary. But if you keep going through it, you keep, like, if this is something you actually want to do, you will learn how to make it work. 'Cause I wasn't an actress the whole time. I was working 40 plus hours every week doing what I didn't want to do, But like, if that's is something that truly fulfills you, try to find a way to do it every day. Try, like, because money is real. We all need to support ourselves. Try to find a way to do it every day. And eventually you will find a way to make that your day. It might not be overnight. It might be. I hope it is for you. But you will. Eventually it'll happen.
Yeah. Man, and so isn't that exciting? I mean, when you say 7 years, I'm like totally shocked, because I think I saw you pop up literally in a video on my timeline, and I was like, "Oh, that's Cellina!" Like, I know that face. And then I think I messaged you just then, and we still didn't talk a lot after that, but just like to be able to see you so fulfilled, definitely. I feel like you enjoy that. And I so we were also dancers. More confessions. We were Caribbean dancers all over the Eastern Seaboard. No. And so we performed a lot. So it wasn't a shock to me to see you as an actress. I was definitely like, oh yeah, totally.
Oh, really? That's so weird. I think people are always so shocked when they see me.
Yeah, but they ain't never seen you with booty shorts on the stage popping it. See, I seen that before.
Yeah, we were doing it.
I was there too, so I'm not trying, no shade. Okay, I was there too. But I'm saying, but that's beautiful. First of all, hello, we're gorgeous. But just I definitely see you as an artist and creative person, and that would seem like a very natural thing to be like, oh yeah, I can see her doing that. And you're tall too, so like modeling, the hair, the face, the body, yeah, entirely.
The hair modeling thing. Ask me how many hair care products I've gotten.
You're still waiting for them hair
I've
care
never been on
products.
anyone's runway. Nobody's nothing. So that was clearly like a catalyst to the acting. So it's okay if you have an idea of one thing. Just be prepared for, open yourself up for miracles, because you never know. Because I called to get hair care products. Anybody listening who got free hair care products, please send them my way.
Yes, please. Please. We still need those hair care products. Yes. I'm 100% with that. Oh my gosh. So, what are some things you're looking forward to getting here in LA? I know you said you're coming at the start of next year. So, what's some things that you're going to be doing? How can, what are people going to be looking out for,
That's a good question. I have, well, in LA specifically, I think yeah, I'm gonna be auditioning. I'm gonna be back in class at the studios. I'm definitely gonna try to produce some of my own stuff. So any actresses out there, actors out there,
Yeah,
pay,
collaborate with
stay
people
alert.
that are similar levels for sure. That's how we got to do it.
Yeah. And hopefully you will see me on somebody's TV screen, somebody's movie, because that is, that's the goal. You want to be
Yeah.
visible. I want to show, I want people to feel connected. And if that's through a visual medium, that's the way I prefer to tell the story. I want people to feel connected, especially through lockdown. That's how we felt connected, through someone else's story. And it gave us a chance to see, like, oh, they're going through what I'm going through. Oh, I never felt that way. How does that feel? Oh. Like we were learning so much. So I just think any opportunity to get that connection, that human connection, is what I'm looking for. But concrete plans in LA, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, this is aspirational, 100%. Okay, we gonna manifest what it is we need. There we
Yeah, we
go.
gonna manifest. Ava DuVernay, if you're around, Issa, Prentice, all of the peoples, all the peoples.
All the party. I'm always like, please invite me to this party. Please invite me. Please invite me to this party. I want to go.
Please check your DMs. I'm DMing you.
That's me. The person tagging you. That's me. I've been tagging you.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to in LA, making those connections and making projects. I mean, I'm not going out there to, I am going out there to have fun, but like I am going out there to make moves. So you guys will be seeing me soon.
Definitely. You already making moves. Do you have an agent?
Yes, I do. I just got I have a manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got representation last month. So that's like a huge thing to being an actor, because you can only get certain auditions without representation. But now that I have one, it's like the world is your oyster. So yeah, we've been working great. That's why I've been getting auditions for films, streaming shows, network shows lately. So that's why I'm like, y'all be seeing me soon, because it's happening. It's happening.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So you like to gloss over all the big news. Look, I was supposed to have breaking news. Cellina has new agent. Like that's
I have representation, key
Mhm.
talent management. Go on my website, Cellina.Munro. No, CellinaMunro.com, and then you can contact the agency.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask you. How can people follow you and just stay in touch now? Not just for work. Professional levels.
Sure, yeah. I have an IG account at CELLINAMUNRO. It's 2 L's. If it's spelled incorrectly, that's not my account. If there's a dash, it's not my account. If there's an underscore, number is not my account. I had some scam accounts
Here, you can
recently.
type it.
So it's at CELLINAMUNRO. My website is www.CELLINAMUNRO.com. So yeah, go on there, check me out, follow me. And hopefully we'll be in touch. You can see what's coming up, connect with me. You never know what projects I'm working on, because I'm doing the whole thing. If you got an idea, let me know. We can partner up. We can write. We can produce. We can act. So yeah,
Definitely.
that's about.
Well, I can't wait till you're here. We definitely gonna have a big party.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
East Coast meets West Coast.
Woo!
Well, thank you so much for being our guest. It's been so awesome to have you, to hear about your journey to being an actress. And we're so excited about your future and what your work is going to look like here in LA. So we'll definitely be checking in with you.
Thank you for having me, Ife. It was so good seeing you. I haven't seen you in so long. It's like school. We became adults. Now we're really adults, and now we meeting up again. Like, it's wonderful.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make sure I'm not looking like an alligator. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get out here.
This alligator.
Trying to be a mogul, media mogul out here.
Oh, that's right.
So that's right. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to check in with you next week on South of Hollywood. Bye.
Bye.